And what we'll be working with, which brings it much more physical, is there's a breathing motion of the hands and feet. They're opening on the in-breath and closing, like flattening on the in-breath and cupping on the out-breath. So it's like breathing in, breathing out. The arms and legs are straight, and it's just breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out with the hands and feet. And that connects, and it works through the arms, through the legs, and that connects through the whole body, through the movement of the breath, to this movement of the jaw, which is not just the movement of the jaw, the whole cranium has started breathing, and it gives it quite a strong, grounded breath. And if I can find it, yeah, it's there. I hadn't, oh look, it's broken. Have I lost a toe? No, it's, something's happened. It's got a thing coming out the side now, which it didn't have before. Anyway, there's a foot, and so the sole of the foot is a bit like a diaphragm. So on the out breath it will be cupped, on the in breath, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So it does that kind of movement, and we'll start off just by flapping it, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and that will be working up the muscles, the front of the leg. And then you've got to connect it to the back as well. So what you get is breathing in, the heel is pulling up as well as the toe is pulling up. So this tightens all the muscles of the back of the leg, tightens all the muscles of the front of the legs. You get this breathing motion of the legs, and the same is in the hands as well. You don't have to remember any of this because I'll be talking about it as we go through. I don't think there's going to be so much talking tonight. This movement of the feet, it plays through the legs and connects the diaphragm. So you get this great big, as the foot breathing in, breathing out, the diaphragm breathing in, breathing out, really through the whole musculature of the legs, through the musculature of the back. It comes into the diaphragm and they connect together. So the legs and the feet are very much relating into the diaphragm. The arms are relating to the diaphragm, but they're more above and into the neck and into the head. Okay. So you end up with this movement of the hands, feet, arms and legs, and how it plays through the body. You end up with the whole body progressively tightening as you come into the in-breath, and the whole body progressively relaxing as you come into the out-breath. And it's automatic. It's not like you're doing separate muscles or you're doing it with your mind. It is the movement of the breath, and people don't, it's not often felt as a conscious thing. People think of the in-breath as everything is opening, which isn't actually true. The muscles of the breath are all tightening to open up the ribs, to pull down the diaphragm. So the muscles are tightening to cause more space in the lungs. But as a whole breath, through the whole body, that includes the arms and legs, includes the pelvis, there's this general tightening that pulls down the diaphragm. It plays in to a shortening and widening of the whole body on the in-breath, and a narrowing and lengthening of the whole body on the out-breath, through the whole spine and through the back and the back of the ribs. The muscles are tightening to pull the ribs up. The muscles are tightening through the whole spine to go into the diaphragm, to go into the ribs. The spine shortens on the in-breath and lengthens on the out-breath. So it seems a little bit backwards to how we perceive things. Now, I'm not going to bring that in as a visualization. I'll just be encouraging you to feel this tightening. And what this does, as it works into the musculature and the movement of the mouth and the musculature into the back of the head and through the muscles of the face and the muscles of the sides of the face, as this contracts, the whole cranium contracts top to bottom and expands to the sides on the in-breath, narrows and lengthens on the out-breath. So you get it in the cranium as well. Breathing in and it will shorten. Breathing out and it will lengthen. The lungs can expand in all directions because they've got an access to outside, so they can just expand in all directions. The abdomen can't. It hasn't got a connection to the outside. I only had a clear balloon, so I don't even know if you can see it. So the abdomen, you've got the diaphragm on top, you've got the pelvic diaphragm below. Breathing in, they're coming together, and the abdomen expands. Breathing out, so you get shortening and widening on the in-breath. And it's the muscles that are creating the shortening and widening. They're pulling together. On the out-breath, everything's relaxing, and the abdomen lengthens and contracts back in. We feel the expansion on the in-breath and the contraction on the out-breath. But what is creating that is the muscles that are creating that are the other way round. They're shortening on the in-breath and lengthening on the out-breath to create that. And it's the same with the cranium. The muscles pulling down through the neck, into the cranium. They're pulling it down onto the spine. The cranium shortens and widens on the in-breath. The cranium lengthens and narrows on the out-breath. So we're going to be working with that. We're going to be connecting into this breathing motion of the cranium. And you can't breathe the cranium in the same way as you would breathe the lungs, because the cranium doesn't have an air supply to it. If it expands in one direction, it's got to contract in another direction. So we will be working with that, with the cranium. Let me just show that. So this may all seem quite complicated, but I'm going to go out of my way to make the meditation as simple as possible. But it's quite nice to give the science behind it. Now, I've tried to teach this in so many ways with the visualization, the sensing of this shortening and lengthening, but it always seems quite different. But what is fantastic when working with the hands, feet, arms and legs, I don't have to say imagine it shortening so it can widening. You just feel the tightening of the muscles working to produce the breath through the whole body, and it automatically does it. So you don't have to feel the shortening, it just does it. And you can feel the cranium breathing. So here we have a cranium. Oops, it's already fallen apart. I haven't even got it out yet. Okay. Here is a cranium. Here is a spine. I'm going to stick the cranium on the spine. So, oops, go on, stay together. I dare you to stay together long enough. So all of the muscles at the back, from the back of the spine, coming up into the occiput area, from the sides, coming up to the temporal bones, the muscles coming up through to the hyoid below, they're all tightening, they're all pulling down on the skull. And what happens is it shortens the spine and pulls the cranium down onto this focal point here. So the spine shortens on the in-breath, spine lengthens on the out-breath. Breathing in, breathing out. And what's happening as it's pressing down onto the spine, the cranium is shortening top to bottom and expanding to the sides. So not just, okay, it's not got a face on it any longer. It really is just the cranium now. So it's not just the spine is shortening and lengthening, the cranium on top of it shortening and widening, lengthening and narrowing. So you get this movement in the cranium, and it's not just the sutures are moving and opening, all of the bones are torsioning and opening and closing in different directions, and all, it's like they're bending. The bones are bending, the sutures are opening and closing in different ways to produce this multi-faceted movement of the cranium. But just being with the feeling of the tension, you don't even have to think about it. You will just feel the movement. I will mention it in different ways, but I don't think, I mean, it's a beginner's webinar. We're not going to go into huge details with it. Just being aware of the tension on the in-breath, and then you start feeling, oh, my cranium's breathing, oh, that's good. And then you feel that, oh, my brain's breathing, oh, my face, oh, it's all breathing, look. It's a different quality to the breath in the lungs. The breath in the lungs has a certain quality to it, because it is, the lungs are just expanding in all directions. It has a more amoebic, cell-like quality, the breathing of the rest of the body. Okay, let's put that down. One last thing. We are going to also work with the spaces between the breaths. So like with the cranium, breathing in, breathing in, breathing, it's expanding to the sides. Now if we wait on the in-breath, that sideways expansion, and we rest there, has time to adjust and move and adjust and move and fully open into its full direction. Then breathing out, this is all contracting and it's lengthening top to bottom. So you get this lengthening, and we wait at the end of the out breath, and this lengthening gets time to adjust and adjust and adjust and to get into the full parameter of the movement of the cranium in the out breath. So it expands by waiting in the spaces between the breaths, in the space between the in-breath and the out-breath and the out-breath and the in-breath. This gives the opportunity for the bones to adjust and adjust and adjust to fill out the whole of that parameter of the breath. So it gives you a bigger parameter and breathing motion of the whole body, but you know, we are putting a lot of attention on the cranium today, cranium and face. Why this has been impossible or very difficult until what I'm going to show you today. What I'm going to show you today may never have been taught, because this only works with holographic breathing, with the hands and feet, with holographic breathing, because it connects to the movement of the jaw and the movement of the cranium. And I've never taught it before. So very likely you are learning something that's never been taught on this planet before. Now, I'm not promising that, but to my mind, there's a good chance. So, you know, you can make yourself a little certificate. I learned something that nobody else ever knew. So what happens, okay, now when we normally breathe in, the diaphragm drops like this. Then when we hold the breath on the in-breath, see, all of the muscles, you can't, on the out-breath, you're relaxing, everything's relaxing, and in the space, everything just stays relaxed. So there's not a problem with the expression of the out-breath. But there is a problem with the expression on the in-breath, because all of the muscles are tightening on the in-breath, and you have to keep them tight for the full expression of the in-breath. So the diaphragm, the muscles are tightening, it's dropping, it's dropping, it's dropping to here. and then you hold the breath. But it's not the diaphragm that stays tightening. To hold the breath, I'm not exactly sure what happens, but I think it's at the top of the trachea, somewhere or other, in either where it's coming up into the nose or the throat, or it holds here, it tightens here so that no breath can release out. It's not like the diaphragm is tight. You hold the breath here somehow so the breath just can't come out. So the diaphragm is tightening. You hold here so no breath comes out, but the diaphragm relaxes. It rises back up, and you'll notice that when we're doing it, I'll give you the chance to feel that a couple of times. We'll just do it with the abdomen breathing, and it drops, and then we hold it. What you'll feel is the whole abdomen's expanded, and then when you hold the breath, the abdomen sinks back in and the chest expands. So what that means is that the diaphragm has risen because the abdomen's come in and the chest has expanded, and that's because you're holding above, but actually the muscles of the diaphragm are relaxing. You'll feel probably the jaw relaxing, so the jaw starts closing. But we've got an advantage here, because if you're working with the arms and legs, we're building up a tension in the feet, a tension in the arms and legs, especially the legs, because they relate to the diaphragm. If you're breathing in, it's all tightening and tightening. If you stop the breath, you don't hold the breath, you just allow the in-breath to stop, and you carry on tightening with the arms and legs, that holds the diaphragm down. That holds the jaw down. So the breath can be relaxed. You don't have to lock the breath in the throat to keep it in. You just keep the pressure and work with the pressure in the arms and legs, and that keeps the diaphragm open. The diaphragm will stay tense and pulled down. And this gives you a magnificent way of building up the muscles in the diaphragm, because there's no other way that I can see of that happening, that the stress stays that the muscles stay tight in the diaphragm, kind of working, while you keep these straight and you wait for a bit between the breaths. And that gives this time when the diaphragm, well, both the diaphragm under the lungs and the diaphragm in the pelvis, they really get toned, they get stronger. I don't know if there are women here who are working with birth, but this is fantastic for birth, for helping with birth. I have cleared a hiatus hernia with this particular thing. I started working with this more strongly as exercises I thought I might be able to heal my inguinal hernia. I haven't been able to heal it, but I've been able to make the muscles much stronger around it. But I had I pulled it so many times from working as a builder and different things. And there's permanent spasm around the left ribs and into the spine at the back under the left hand shoulder blade. That has completely gone for about the last 2 months by working with the arms and legs in this way. It really strengthens the diaphragm. It becomes much more soft, supple, breathable, bigger breaths. And also from having Lyme disease, it had weakened my immune system. And my weakest place was the lungs. I kept on getting lung infections all the time because it's weakened my immune system. No lung infections since I've been working with the hands and feet in this way. And my feeling is also it builds the immune system because all of the muscles are tightening. That's putting a lengthways pressure into the bones. So the bones are getting condensed on the in-breath. The bones are lengthening on the out-breath. The bones are getting condensed on the in-breath. For me, this is how a baby grows in the womb, because there's no weight and bones need pressure to get them to grow. And I think this is happening in the womb. And when you do it on your own bones, I think it's activating the immune system in the bones, where it's producing all the immune cells in the marrow of the bones. So multi-faceted way of healing, and also this tightening and relaxing through the whole body. It pumps the lymph system. It really gets the lymph going. I really feel all the lymph nodes in my neck, under my arms, around the groin, and through the whole body, but it's just clearing and clearing. So this particular meditation is so good for health, so good for your immune system, and this brilliant way of being able to sit in to the space on the in-breath. Because, you know, in a lot of meditations, you sit into this space in the in-breath, but you have to lock to do it. You have to lock in the throat to keep the breath in. But with this, you can work with it, and it just keeps it all open. So the lungs can relax. This doesn't have to lock, and you just work. And what happens when it relaxes, it means that the cranium can't expand into its full position, because all of these muscles relax, and it just goes into the out breath. So with this particular facet of the arms and legs, we're able to get a really fantastic opening of the cranium in the in-breath. The out-breath is no problem, because you don't have to lock the breath to stay in the out-breath, because everything is just relaxed. It's a facility of being relaxed. So that is what we're working with today. For the new people, just learning holographic breathing. You know, you don't have to worry about all the other stuff. So that is what we're doing. It's kind of an advanced webinar that I'm doing at a level where beginners can do it as well. If you practice what I teach you, I mean, I don't know, there just aren't any other breath works like holographic breathing. It opens up into a new dimension that isn't the same as other breath works. And you can do the other breath works with holographic breathing. You can do connective breath, you can do different holds, you can do the different counts, you can do all the different things, but it works differently. It opens up something that generally isn't, or I haven't seen it open up with other breath works. Connects to a certain thing. So there's a certain magic to holographic breathing. And for me, there's very clearly intelligences that come in when I work and teach this. My guess is that they have an investment and they want this to spread. They want people to find out about this breath work and work with this breath work. And I think it's the changing of the times. I think it's one of the things that's going to help people move into the new age, new breath for a new age. So what I teach in these, you can just keep practicing it over and over, and each time you listen to the video, it will be different. It will open up in a new way. And on that note, many people get a bit annoyed with me because my voice is a bit mesmeronic. Not moronic, mesmeronic, if that's a word. I don't know if it is a word, but that puts people to sleep. But it's not, I don't think it's my voice. I think it's the channels, because I watch the videos, and when I'm teaching, I see the channels coming. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to pass out. So you may pass in and out of consciousness, and that is fine. I get lots of feedback from people where they say, I passed out for 5 minutes, and when I came back in, this had got better, or that had got better. So quite often it's just the intellect. You need to get rid of the intellect for certain healings to work. So if you're connecting with your higher self or the divine realms, you might go out of consciousness for a while that is happening. But whatever, that happens a lot in these webinars. Don't fight it. If you fight it, you're in for a hiding to nothing. It's much better just to float in and out, let it happen. And each time you listen, sometimes you're tired and you will sleep. Other times you're awake and you'll stay wide awake through the meditation. Other times there are lots coming up to the surface that knocks you out. And in a way, it knocks you out to give it a way of releasing. So don't get into a fight with whether you're staying conscious or not. It's just not worth it. Just will add stress. All right. See, again, I thought I wasn't going to say much. I've said loads. Look at the time. My God, I've said loads. So sorry to speak so often or so much, but I'm now going to describe the holographic breathing, and we will start the meditation. We'll probably just have a 2-minute break after I've described it so people can go and do a pee or whatever they want to do, and then we'll start. And the meditation will probably be 30 minutes long, something like that. But I'll describe the holographic breathing first and demonstrate it. So, as I said before, the lips are relaxed and closed. The upper surface of the tongue is on the roof mouth. And for the new people, you can start with that already. So we won't be doing the movement until we get into the meditation. But you can start off just getting used to lips relaxed and closed, tongue relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. And it's the tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth, and as much of the tongue on the roof of the mouth as feels comfortable. So you may have 1/2 inch of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, you may have 1 inch on the roof of the mouth, you may have the whole tongue covering the whole roof of the mouth. But the only important thing is that it feels comfortable. So the breath, obviously because the lips are closed, the breath is through the nose. Then along with that, which we'll be doing in the meditation, the jaw is gently opening on the in-breath and the jaw is gently closing on the out-breath. And there's small motion, 1/2 finger width, 3 or 4 millimeters. And that just becomes natural and just connects into the whole breath. So I'm going to demonstrate that so you can see that it's a very subtle motion of the mouth. You may not even see it, but you may, if you see energies or whatever, you may just notice I go into an altered state as soon as I start doing it. So I'll just do 4 or 5 breaths just to give it an energetic and visual demonstration. And as soon as it starts, I don't really want to come back. It just feels wonderful. I can feel all the energies moving through my brain. I feel myself connecting to the higher self and the beyond. It just becomes a lovely feeling. And I'm not really moving the jaw, the breath is moving the jaw. There's no specific length of breath, it's just what feels comfortable. It's not connected breath. I know a lot of people used to doing connected breath work. It's not connected breath, you're leaving just the natural space at the beginning and the end. If you are learning this for the first time, important to be sitting up. while I teach the first part of the meditation, while you're actually learning how to do the mechanics of holographic breathing, because if you're lying down, there's a good chance you'll fall asleep, and there's not a problem doing that once you've learned holographic breathing. But if you do that before you've learned holographic breathing, you're going to miss the whole webinar. You're going to miss actually learning it. So it's good to be sitting up, and then when we come to do the hands and feet, probably best to be lying down, or at least so you can have the arms and legs extended. So it may be good to just check you've got somewhere you can sit and somewhere you can also lie down, or at least have your arms and legs extended. We'll just do one thing, just so, because sometimes people get into the meditation and think, well, how can I move my jaw and keep my lips closed? So we're just going to do that. Have your lips closed, and with your lips closed, just gently moving the jaw up and down, a bit like chewing or a bit like eating. Not with the breath, but just getting the experience that you can bounce it up and down. Okay, and you can let that come to an end. Good. Anybody could not do that? Put your hand up if you couldn't do that. Not that it's going to make any difference, because I won't know what to tell you if you can't do that. But I guess it's quite handy to know. All right, I think we will just begin. So, closing your eyes. If you know holographic breathing, relaxing into the holographic breathing. If you don't know holographic breathing, just breathing softly and naturally in your own way. And we're going to bring in some resources to start off with. Sending a smile, sending some energy to the earth, and allowing the earth to say hello back. Allowing yourself to receive the divine energies from the earth energies, the healing energies from the earth. So you're in communication with the earth. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self and the beneficial energies. The beneficial energies are any divine teachers, divine energies, any guides you work with, any energies you work with. Just the as long as they're beneficial, that's all that really matters. Sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self and the beneficial energies, and allowing the higher self and the beneficial energies to say hello back. Allow yourself to receive those energies, those teachers, those divine energies and beings. And breathe. And asking the earth, the higher self, and the beneficial energies, the divine energies, to be with you through the whole webinar as your guide, your healing, and your resource. Relax the back of your neck, relax the back of your head. The lips are relaxed and closed. The tongue is on the roof of the mouth. The upper surface of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and as much as feels comfortable. Maybe 1/2 inch, maybe an inch, maybe the whole tongue, but it must feel comfortable. Tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth. The breath is through the nose. And just start bouncing the jaw up and down a bit, just to get the experience that you can move the jaw, you can keep the lips closed, and you can keep the tongue on the roof of the mouth as you're just gently bouncing the jaw up and down. And slow the movement of the jaw down, just doing soft, slow, opening the jaw, closing the jaw, the lips stay closed. And slow that right down, small movement, half a finger width. And then, as the jaw is gently opening, the breath, allow the breath to come in through the nose. As the jaw is closing, the breath leaves through the nose. The jaw gently opens, the lips stay closed, the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth, the jaw relaxes open. Notice this draws the breath in through the nose. It's like a bellows. And as the jaw gently closes, the breath leaves through the nose. Like a little bellows, as the jaw is relaxing down, it draws the breath in through the nose. As the jaw is gently raising, the breath leaves through the nose. Relax the back of the head. Relax the back of the neck. Relax the whole body. Jaw gently opens, it brings the breath in. The jaw gently closes, the breath leaves. Relaxed, slow motion of the jaw. The lips stay closed all of the time. The tongue stays on the roof of the mouth all of the time. Jaw gently opens and it brings the breath in. The jaw gently closes and the breath leaves. Relax the back of the neck. Relax the back of the head. Now we're going to change the whole gestalt. Rather than having the emphasis on the jaw, have the emphasis on the nose and the breath coming in through the nose. As the breath comes in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. As the breath leaves through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. Notice how everything becomes much softer, more meditative. You may start feeling energy through your spine and through your brain. Breathing in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. Lips stay closed, the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth. If it feels awkward in any way, make the movement slower, softer, and smaller. Relax the back of your neck. Relax the back of your head. As the teeth come together on the out-breath, they just gently float together. There's no stress. There's no pressure. Or they stay slightly separate. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. And now that that's going, we're going to start bringing the attention more into the body. As the chest opens, the jaw follows. The jaw opens. So the chest is opening, the jaw opens. The chest is closing, the jaw closing. The jaw is integrating together with the breath, so they're becoming the same thing. As the abdomen opens, the jaw relaxes open. As the abdomen closes, the jaw relaxes closed. The whole torso opens, the jaw opens. As the torso closes, the jaw closes. Notice how natural it's starting to feel. As if you've always known how to breathe in this way. It just needed to be initiated, it just needed to start. And it's like riding a bike. Notice how nurturing it feels, as if every cell is opening on the in-breath and every cell is closing on the out-breath. Notice in a very subtle way your whole face has started to breathe, your cranium has started to breathe, your brain has started to breathe, and your neck has started to breathe. Everything is breathing, and the whole skull and brain and neck give a higher demonstration of the breath and connection to the divine energies, to the divine teachers, to the energies of the new times and new world. And if you've got used to the holographic breathing and it seems fine and you want to lie down, if you're new, as long as it's going, you can lie down if you wish to lie down. Gently breathing. Whole body opening on the in-breath, the whole body closing on the out-breath, including the jaw. The jaw just become part of the breath. You're not moving the jaw to move the breath, you're breathing, and that is just gently moving the jaw in this soft way. Okay, and we're going to start with the movement of the feet. This will make it much more physical and will connect to the diaphragm. So we'll start with the feet just flapping. They kind of flap up, so the toes are lifting on the in-breath. It's a bit like the toes are connecting to the jaw. The jaw and toes are pulling together on the in-breath, and feel it tightening through the front of the legs and through the front of the body. Breathing out, the jaw is closing, toes and feet are relaxing down. Breathing in, the feet flap up. Breathing out, the feet flap down, and it connects to the breath and this movement of the breath from the periphery. Breathing in, they flap up. Breathing out, they flap down. And then when you're used to that, the front of the leg pulling up the toes. You want the back of the legs and the calf pulling up the heels. So the toe, and it ends up so the feet don't flap anymore, they just flatten. Being aware of the back of the legs, tightening, the heels will pull up, the toes will pull up, flattens the foot on the in-breath. Breathing out, the foot relaxes on the out-breath. And notice the whole leg is tightening to produce that motion. The front and back of the legs are tightening to flatten the foot on the in-breath, relaxing to relax the foot on the out-breath. Notice as you do that, it gives a long hydraulic motion through the abdomen and diaphragm. You get this really long diaphragmatic breath from the feet. Really will slow your breath down, a deep breath through the abdomen, through the diaphragm. Breathing in, breathing out. Really works the diaphragm, really exercises the diaphragm. It's deeply relaxing because it really splays the diaphragm out. Really, the heels and the back of the legs will bring you into the back of the body. And it won't just be the legs, it will be the pelvis, it will be through your back, through your lower back, through your upper back. A bit like there's just this tightening as you breathe in, the feet are flattening, the diaphragm's being pulled down, you get this deep, slow breath of the abdomen, breathing out, the legs are relaxing, the feet relax and cup slightly. Everything relaxes, everything breathes. You need the legs out straight, and then the arms as well. They're out straight beside you, palms are down, hands flattening, feet flattening. Breathing out. The hands relaxing, the feet relaxing. You get this tension through the arms and legs, the hands and feet flatten. Tension, relaxation through the arms and legs, the hands and feet just relax. Notice from the arms, this does work into the diaphragm, but it's more the chest and head. The legs will work through the whole body, but they're working right deep into the diaphragm. So you don't have to do this the whole time. I can just do it because I'm used to it, but if it feels hard work, you can just stop and gently do holographic breathing, especially the new people. If you just learn holographic breathing, that is plenty. Gives you this deep breath. Really pulls into the diaphragm with every breath. So we're going to wait at the end of the in-breath, but to start off with, we'll just wait and it will lock as it normally locks in the throat or the back of the throat, wherever it is. We won't carry on the tension. So make sure you're breathing into the abdomen with the legs and feet. Really opens the abdomen. And then if you just wait without increasing the pressure, or even relax the pressure a bit, notice the abdomen will drop and the chest will expand as the diaphragm relaxes back up, and it's held at the throat. but everything more relaxes as you wait, and the breath is held at the throat. Then breathing out and everything relaxes further. Breathing in, and then just hold the breath. Notice the abdomen drops and it moves up into the chest. The chest expands as the diaphragm relaxes back up. Now this time, as you're breathing in, let the breath stop at a certain point, but then carrying on, tightening through the arms and legs. And notice the diaphragm stays stretched, the abdomen stays open. It keeps the breath open. So you stop the in-breath and you carry on the tension in the arms and legs. Notice your abdomen stays open, the diaphragm stays open, and the expression of the in-breath stays open. You really encourage that extra stretching and tension through the arms and legs, and you can pull that up through your spine. Notice that comes right up into the cranium, around the cranium. It extends it up into the cranium. And breathe out. Arms and legs relaxing. Breathing in. At a certain point, the breath finishes, but carry on the tension in the arms and legs. You can feel it pulling through the back of the neck into the cranium, through the sides of the neck into the cranium, through the throat to the jaw and face. And there's this opening of the skull. Breathing out, the arms and legs relaxes, and that releases the breath. By the arms and legs relaxing, the breath comes out. The hold is in the arms and legs and feet rather than in the throat. So you get a nice space at the end of the in-breath and this tightening through the arms and legs, and you relax the arms and legs and the breath automatically comes out. So we're waiting into the in-breath. Breath stops. Carry on the tension. Notice it pulling into the cranium in a multifaceted way. The cranium opening out to the sides as you breathe in. The jaw opening out to the sides as you breathe in. Relax the arms and legs, and the breath automatically starts leaving. Breathing in. At a point, the breath stops, but carry on that tension. Let it work through the spine, up into your brain, up through the skull, through the top of the head, into the higher energies. Relaxing the arms and legs, the breath comes out. Relaxing into the out-breath, the whole cranium is breathing out. And then breathing without holding the in-breath. So just breathing in and out again. Now waiting into the out-breath. As you breathe out, the arms and legs are relaxing, the hands are relaxing, the spine's relaxing. In the out-breath, everything, so you just wait. There's no hold because everything is just relaxed. The cranium's relaxed, the pelvis is relaxed, the arms, legs, hands, everything's relaxed. You just wait for a bit at the end of the out-breath. Notice it has a different feel. You sink more in your body, you become more aware of the pelvis. Breathing in, there's a tension through the arms and legs. The whole body is slowly tensioning to pull in the breath. Get a deep breath in the abdomen, the chest. And then rather than holding, just slowly relaxing everything, the breath comes out. And wait in that relaxation at the end of the out-breath. Everything is still. Everything is relaxed. All the muscles are relaxed. Breathing in, you start this tensioning through the arms and legs. It's a bit like an iron lung. You're breathing the body with your arms, legs, hands and feet. As it rises up into the cranium and face opening. Breathing out, it all starts to relax. The cranium starts breathing out. And waiting at the end of the out-breath. You may get flashing in your brain as the energy releases from your pelvis through your brain and up into the higher self. The spaces in the breath connects you to the divine energies. Breathing in, arms and legs tightening. At a certain point, the breath stops, but carry on working the movement of the breath with the arms and legs, and then breathing out. And wait, notice a pulsing through your brain, through your head. If it gets too hard work, you can just relax and breathe. And then we're going to wait on the in-breath again, breathing in, the arms, legs tightening. It will stop at a point and just carry on tightening the legs, the arms. So keep the diaphragm open, it will keep the jaw open. The cranium is opening. The top of the head is dropping down, it's flattening as you breathe in, the top of the head being pulled to the pelvic floor. As you breathe out, the top of the head is rising like an egg, narrowing and rising. As you breathe out, breathing in, the head is expanding and shortening top to bottom. Breathing out, the head is narrowing and lengthening top to bottom. And this starts opening the crown chakra, the top of the head. Work those muscles, work the arms and legs after the breath has stopped. Really get that going up through the cranium, opening and shortening. Breathing out, they're all relaxing, narrowing and lengthening. And if you feel the top of the head, this will kind of pulse with the higher self, with the divine energies. You can let that all relax down. Many people would already just be relaxing their arms and legs, just letting them relax. Have it very subtle, very gentle with the arms and legs. Let the holographic breathing run through you, however you want it to run through you. Be aware of your energies. Be aware of any healing that may want to happen. Be aware of the spine behind your chest. And be aware of your spine. There we go, it's in the spine. Just breathing gently, being aware of your spine and the energies moving in your spine, the kundalini, in your spine, a gentle, very gentle, subtle motion of the hands and feet. And the Kundalini running through your spine, through your cranium, through your brain. Let that rise up through the top of your head into the divine realms. There seems to be a certain teacher. You may get whatever you get, but I'm kind of feeling this divine teacher. Definitely a teacher coming in, just to teach something on an energetic level, maybe DNA or just information level. So if you want to be open to that, you can just allow that informational healing. It's just there as a present. It's definitely working on people's spines. Through the spine and through the brain. It's part of the beyond. It goes beyond the intellect, beyond our understanding, beyond the beyond. And relaxing your neck. Let that energy go through your neck. Maybe bring your chin down slightly. You may kind of hear it as a spiritual talking, or a talking you can't understand, but it's something to do with that listening through the ears. So communication. Gently breathing. If you wish to allow that communication, allow yourself to be spoken to. You won't understand it, but you can allow an understanding on a level you don't understand. Allow that into your DNA. To download into your DNA a healing and changing of the DNA. Let go on the level of your DNA and the level of your intellect, letting go of the intellect, letting the energies travel through your brain. As you let go of the intellect, it will move through your neurons, through your astrocyte cells, through your brain. Letting that connect to the beyond, to the higher teachers, the higher realms. If you're passing in and out, that is fine. Just allowing whatever you want. Relax your neck. Relax the back of your head. And receive divine guidance, divine healing, changing of the times, changing of you. We are the problem. We are what has to change to move forwards. Gently breathing, allowing that transformation. Okay, we're gonna just carry on with that for a little bit, just allowing that to settle. Definitely your neck, let your neck relax. Something to do with that understanding goes through the neck. letting everything settle, allowing yourself to drop back into your body. And the only thing I can describe it is divine talking, divine teaching on a level beyond. Let it transcribe you. Ancient texts to the beyond, to the ultimate. To that can't be described. Okay, just slowing that down and sending a thank you to the earth, sending a thank you to the higher self, sending a thank you to the beneficial energies, the divine teachers, the channels, the divine energies, whatever it was you were listening to, speaking with, thanking them. And letting the energies go off for love and healing to the earth, for love and healing to the higher self, the beneficial energies, the divine energies. And allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And letting the energies go out to all sentient beings for love and healing. And you are a sentient being, allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. So we went through two very different worlds there. This is really quite physical world of the kind of tensing through the body on the in-breath and the relaxation of the body on the out-breath. So it's very physical type breathing for the first part of that. And then when we let that become much more subtle, there was this communication with the beyond. At least there was for me. I don't know what other people felt, but I certainly had something going on there. Well, I'm blown away anyway. It's nice for me to run these webinars because I'm just completely blasted by the end. Next week, we will be moving on to the last webinar, working with the energies of the arms and legs. It's much more subtle. We work with 6 different energy systems and their different energy points. We've been working with the energy points, the arms, legs, hands and feet. And next week we're finishing that. We'll be working with the energy points for the kidneys, the adrenals, bladder, urethra, vagina and penis. also the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the arms and legs. That's two separate energy circuits. That's the last one of that series. That has been an absolutely mind-blowing webinar series. I mean, just stunning. I just had no idea how that was going to go, and it just turned out each one is a complete and utter surprise to me. You can still join that. You can just do the last one as a separate one, but I would highly recommend getting the whole series and the recordings of the previous three. Really very inexpensive. They're longer than these. They're 2 hours plus each one, and it's just £29 for that whole series of 4. Or you can do the last one for £14 if you so wish. So that is there. That's on the last, no it's not, it's on the second page of my website. The recordings from this will probably be ready by Tuesday, because I make a good audio track separate to the video and then splice it all together. So it takes a little while, but that will be available as a YouTube video. And with all of these, it's really worth going through them a few times, because I'm teaching principles. So each time you can just keep opening a principle forever. It just gets deeper and deeper. And this is the first time I've found a way of easily teaching that shortening and lengthening through the body. And people may not have even felt it, but the muscles would have been doing that, because the muscles are longitudinally through the arms, legs, around the spine, up to the head. They're this way. So as they're tightening, they are physically shortening the body on the in-breath, and everything opens onto the in-breath. And then as they relax, the whole body is relaxing out again, and everything relaxes back in. So even if I'm not saying everything's shortening and widening, you are physiologically doing that. So I think I found a way of getting around people's brain on that one. So that's really good. If you're new, you probably would have missed a lot of it, but you know, you should be able to do the holographic breathing. If you can't, just go over the recordings, play those recordings. There's a whole last page of my website has got the recordings of most of the latest free webinars. It's something like 30 free webinar recordings there. You can just run through there. They're brilliant. They're just brilliant. So that is all there as a resource, and this one will be there as a resource in a couple of days, but you'll also get this as an email. It's been an absolute privilege and honor working with you all again. I really enjoy being able to do this and having the privilege of being able to do it. Don't run away, come back, do more. We meet every Sunday. Well, I've got to have an operation, so we're going to miss one Sunday, but I'll be starting up all the new programs. I'll be running a training. Mainly, I think I'll be teaching people how to do this in individual sessions and to use it for healing energies, past lives, trauma, anything that's going on. I got no idea how to do it, but I've got to at some point train people. So that will be starting. I'll be running some new webinar series that will all be starting. Hopefully I'll be a bit more mobile once I've had this operation, and everything can start up again. I've had a holiday. I feel totally new. Something's gone on in this holiday that I've had. Something totally different. I think I've just had a chance, in my resting, I've had a chance to upgrade. So it just feels relaxed. I don't care anymore. I just think, yeah, we'll just do this, and what will be, will be. So lovely to be with you all. Communicate if you wish. One more last love and goodbye from everyone.